Alright everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Forex Market Preview. My name is Jason Stapleton, and this is the first time that you're joining me. Thank you so much for doing so. I'll do my best to give you some insights into what's going to happen next week. And of course, if you are one of the there's tens of thousands of you now who watch this video or get this video every single week, I want to say thank you to you guys as well for continuing to come back time and time again and be part of what I do. Now, this week what we're going to do is, we're going to start with the Aussie dollar. Now, we've been looking at this for a long time. If you remember back to last week, we identified, actually have to jump out to the daily chart. We're on a 4-hour chart now, so we're looking at Aussie dollar. Talked about coming into this little zone down in here. Market had been on a tirade. Boom, just lower, 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 lower. Got a little pop out of it right before we entered the zone, and then boom, rolled right back over again. Looking left, why were we IDing that zone? Well, look left, structure leaves clues. This was the previous bottom. It was it's the most likely spot that we would see some support come into place in this particular pair. And I was telling guys in the private client group this week, and again, well, never mind. In the private client group this week to watch this level. And if we go back down to that 4-hour chart, what you can see is that the market has come down into that zone. We've rallied out of it, and now we're coming back, and we're just short of a little double bottom in here. And if we can get that double bottom, as you'll see, we'll put in a little bullish divergence. It's going to be a nice buying signal here for us. But again, what I would consider, if you guys are wanting the exact number of what constitutes the double bottom, call it 96.28. 96.28 is going to be the area that we would watch for that double bottom. And we came 96.32s, so we came really, really, really close. But in order for this to be classified as a double bottom per the rules of engagement that I use, we would need to see 96.28s. Now, so with that said, that's what we're watching on the Aussie dollar chart. So things kind of playing out just as we anticipated moving over the last couple of weeks. Now, here we are on Canada, looking on the 4-hour chart, and as you can see, we've been in just an upward move here for the past, well, for quite a little while now, since about the 8th or 9th of this month, and we recently broke the previous structure level. We see we got right above it, market pulled back, and then we had a nice large rally upward. Now, there's nothing on the 4-hour chart for us to really ID ourselves on. Well, I guess we could. We could do it from here. What we're basically looking for here is a bat pattern. What we would look for is for the market, and we don't expect it, okay? I don't know that this is what the market's going to do, but I know if it does what I'm about to show you, that there's going to be a high probability buying opportunity that's going to give you an excellent risk reward. Low risk, high probability trading opportunity. Now, what am I talking about here? Well, if we take a look at this, this is what the pattern looks like. And what we're looking for is this market to continue lower down into 102.36s. If we get down into 102.36s, that is the 886 retracement of this leg of the move right here, this leg right here. So it's the 886 retracement down there. If we get into that zone, what I would expect to see is a rally up. Now, we may get a little, we may get a lot, as you'll see in a minute from one of the winners that we had from last week. Sometimes, you know, the rallies aren't that great. You just get a little pop in the price action. But what you do tend to see here on a very consistent basis is when these patterns occur, when we come down into that 886 zone, you are going to see an opportunity to make money. So let's roll over to the euro. That was Canada, for those of you looking. Euro has a very nice cipher pattern potentially setting up here. Now, this is more difficult to see on the 4-hour chart. Let's drop down to the hourly chart, and this is going to be a lot more apparent to you guys. So here you have it. You have the market coming up. We have a small pullback. We break structure to the upside, and the market immediately reverses. If, and again, this is the progression, the if-then syntax that we use here at Trade Empowered. If the market pulls back into the 786 retracement. The 786 is coming in at 128.58. If the market pulls back into the 786 retracement, then we're going to want to be a buyer. And boom, we're expecting the market to rally. Now again, as I said before, or as I've said many times and as you've seen before you watch this video, This is not like a solicitation for you to buy. You know, I don't want to run through that whole rigmarole every time I want to do one of these. What I'm doing is showing you the stuff that I'm looking at, trying to give you guys some areas to look for that'll present you with high probability buying opportunities or selling opportunities, places to make money. This is the same stuff that I give to the syndicate. It's the same stuff that we talk about day in and day out. It's the same thing that I teach people how to do, how to recognize these patterns, how to take advantage of them, how to exploit these setups in the market that 99% of traders in the world don't know how to identify. So based on this, what we would see is that 786 would give us a potential rally. All right, rolling over to the pound. Pound is giving me really nothing. Go back out to the 4 hour here. The pound is giving me really nothing here that I can play with, and so I'm going to leave the pound alone for today. Let's go to New Zealand. New Zealand, again, nothing. Euro yen. Euro yen, again, nothing. You see this chop? You see this right in here? Market gaps down, we rally down, then we rally back up, we fill the gap, now we roll over again, back and forth, back and forth. There's nothing there for us to play with on these higher time frames. Now, if we go down to a 5-minute chart, to a 15-minute chart, it may be presenting us opportunities all over the place. But on the higher time frames, which is what we look at here for the Forex market preview, not something that we can really play with. Aussie yen. Now, here's our call from last week on the Aussie yen. All right? Had a Gartley pattern setup. I said watch for the 127 extension coming in with 786 ratio confluence right in here. I gave you the zone to look for the potential reversal. Look at what the market did. We drove down into that zone. Boom. We went through it just a little bit. Stops more than held. Our stops are down here below X. Okay? So our stops are all the way down here. Market then rallies out of that. Now, if you look at the whole picture, it looks like, man, that market really didn't move that much, and then it rolled right over until you draw in your profit targets. And when we start looking at our profit targets here, if I can grab one of these, there we go. I'm just going to delete some of these Fibonacci's so it's easier for you guys to see this stuff. When we draw in our Fibonacci retracement, swing high to swing low, you'll see we absolutely positively hit that initial target at 163. So we bottom up at the 127 extension at 99.83, and we sold them at $1.63. Okay, that's what, a 80 point move, 80 pip move out of that market. Very, very nice winner there on Aussie yen, and it came quick too. You know, you came in, boom, and popped, and you're right there. You know, less than a day later. So it's a quick and easy way to pick up that money. And again, look at this. This is a declining market. I'm sorry, excuse me. This is a channeling to slightly down market. So what you're looking for, the market's coming down. We continue to go lower and lower and lower. And now all of a sudden, in the congestion, we're presented with a buying opportunity. And that buying opportunity presents us with, 100 pips of profit. Or, I'm sorry, it's 80 pips, whatever. If we'd hit target 2, if it had gone a little bit higher, there was over 100 pips of opportunity. Let's put it that way in this particular trade. Canada yen, nothing. Pound yen, I'm just trying to remember what I did this analysis Friday after the market closed. Here's another one we looked at, okay? And I told you guys, look out for a couple of things. I said the market is channeling up here, and I said it can break out to the downside, it can break out to the upside, but be watching for that breakout for a potential trend continuation trade. So when we see this, and ignore the pattern in here because I'll talk about that in a minute. When we see the market coming to kind of a point, what we know is that you can call it coiling. The market is coiling up here. It's like a spring, and it's getting ready to pop one way or the other. And we've got to wait for that breakout to occur, the breakout of the two trend lines, the support and resistance lines, before we can make a decision. Now, in this case, the market broke out to the downside, and I told you guys, if it breaks out to the downside, opportunity for trend continuation trade in there through that breakout. But I said you've also got this pattern formation in here. So you could trade the pattern formation, you can trade the breakout, but either way, you've got a couple of setups here. Now, this is a perfect scenario of showing you how you can be right either way. I don't care whether you took if you took the pattern trade, okay? Took the pattern trade, got long, hit target 1 around 83.44. and hit target 2, 83.96. I would have to do the research on that to see, but I would guess there's probably 100 pips of profit in there or more from target 1 to target 2, just because we're playing on the 4-hour chart. If you had, so you had a chance there to make 100 pips of profit in there as the market rallied on that pattern trade. Now, if you'd have taken the breakout, boom, which would have been somewhere around here, the market would have immediately reversed on you. But look at where your stops go. Boom, we're going to use structure as our stops. We're going to look left for that structure. It's right here. And we're going to make sure our stops are above that structure level. So they're going to be somewhere up in here somewhere. And as you can see, stops were never violated. We never got anywhere close to breaking those highs. And now the market has rolled over and appears to be continuing lower. So we had a very, very nice move right out of here. And you also had, again, if you're looking at your targets, your 1-to-1 move would have been just fine. You would have been able to take initial profits off around 82.50s, which would have been a very nice short from 82.90s, giving you about 50 pips of profit there. And now you've got some potential follow-on targets as well. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. My point being is that I gave you 2 potential setups here last week, both of them paying off. So I know that we're getting into I've given you a couple of trades here of potential setups, a cipher pattern and a bat pattern for next week. But this stuff is really powerful when you start thinking about all of the opportunity that exists out there and the different ways that you can play the market. Now, Aussie, Canada, I think most of our core pairs that we're watching, what we would consider the minor pairs, the Aussie, New Zealand, which is here, the Euro, Aussie, which is here. You can see how directional they are. I mean, these are really our bread and butter pairs when it comes to advanced patterns, especially cipher patterns. These particular pairs do really, really well and have really high payoff rates. But as you can see, very directional. All of them very directional. Now, this is what happens in markets sometimes. This is pound Aussie right here, just totally directional. Here's pound Canada. Pound Canada is presenting us with some better opportunities. But again, nothing here that I can use. Let me make sure here. There's one. There's a Gartley pattern, okay? Sorry, guys. I missed this one when I was doing my analysis earlier. Gartley pattern. Well, that's why, because it's already happened. Gartley pattern coming in around here. The 127 extension. Just let me see where it is. This is why I didn't pick it out. Of course I didn't miss something. I don't miss things. Came up into the 127 extension and is now pulled off of that. So we've got a Gartley pattern that's probably already hit target 1 here. Yep, already hit target 1. So here's a Gartley pattern on pound Canada has already hit target 1. So that, again, just another proof of and evidence that these pattern formations do in fact work. Going over to pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand has a potential opportunity here as well. This is also a Gartley pattern. We're looking for the market to press up into 88.51s. I'm sorry, excuse me. This is a butterfly pattern. Yeah, this is a butterfly pattern. And basically the 127 extension is completing above X, and that's what, or above this resistance level here, that's what keys us into it being a butterfly pattern, that among the ratios that we use. But basically we're going to look for a 127 extension here right at about the previous resistance level, and there's a selling opportunity there. My point here, if I can go back to my original thought, which is when these markets start getting directional, we have to sit on the sidelines. We know that markets are directional about 30% of the time, which means 60-70% of the time we're going to have prime trading opportunities. It just so happens that these pairs have all moved into trend all at relatively the same time, and so we have to sit on the sidelines when it comes to these pairs, and we have to take advantage of the patterns where we find them. The very nice thing about it is that we can go through and we can find stuff to trade on those other pairs. I've given you 2 or 3 good trading opportunities for next week just in this video. And, we've also covered, kind of how that pays off week to week by you guys continuing to watch the Forex Market Preview. So that's it for this week. Syndicate members, those of you who are not Syndicate members, you can go ahead and sign off now, but I'll give you an update on the new Syndicate software. I have in my possession at this time a functional syndicate feed, exactly what we were talking about, putting that together for you guys, and I got it back from the coder yesterday. I plugged it in, I've logged in, I've done some tests, and it functions correctly, which is awesome. Now it looks terrible because we haven't done any of the, those of you guys who are computer nerds, we haven't done any of the UI or the user interface, all the stuff that makes it, look flashy. We haven't done any of that, so it's very raw, and we haven't actually done. He's still working on getting the images loaded, because one of the things that's going to be huge for us is the ability to post charts into the syndicate feed. Well, we're having trouble tying it to the Amazon S3 servers that we're going to be using for that, but it doesn't matter. That's going to get solved in the next couple of days. And so what I would expect is that I will have something to show you by the end of next week. And, as you guys know, anybody who's ever done any software development, we're moving at lightning fast pace here. We've gone from 0 to having a working model in 2 weeks, which is incredible. And within the next week or two, I will have something to actually go out to you guys in beta. Now, again, it'll be a beta model, which means all you syndicate members will get it, but we're going to need your help to make sure we flush out any of the issues, the bugs that might exist in the software. I'm not going to turn it over to you guys until I feel very confident that we've worked out all the known problems, and that now we're working on just the unknown problems, the stuff that's going to come out when you send 500, 600, 700 people software and let them download it. There's going to be issues with it. There's no doubt there's going to be issues, but I want to release it to you guys so I can get it in your hands so that you've got something that you can start getting real-time trade alerts 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right on your desktop. So again, guys, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be with you this week. Go out there, trade what you see, find those patterns, start training your reticular activating system, and I will be back here with you next week, same bat time, same bat channel, for another Forex market preview.